Welcome to a brand new hour of Fox News Live. I'm Aisha Hasni in Washington. Pope Leo XIV marking his first Good Friday Mass as pontiff ahead of tomorrow's Mass from St. Peter's Square as Christians around the world are celebrating Holy Week. Coming up this hour, I will speak live with Franklin Graham on his Easter message to America and to the world. But first, a Fox News alert. President Trump is in Washington this holiday weekend as the administration monitors the search for the airman who is still missing after a U.S. fighter jet was shot down in Iran this Friday. And it comes as reports say that Trump is saying that the downing of this jet will not affect negotiations with Iran as the conflict goes on. So let's bring in now Alex Hogan. She is live for us with her first hit from the White House. You normally see Alex from our Foreign Bureau in London. She is now joining us here in the Washington Bureau. A big welcome to you, Alex.
Hi, Aisha. Thank you so much. And it is great to be with you and great to be back stateside. But right now, what we are following is this ongoing search for this U.S. service member. That search continues after Iran yesterday shot down this F-15E. U.S. troops were able to rescue that pilot. But this is the first time since 2003 that an American warplane has been shot down over enemy territory. Yesterday, a second U.S. warplane was also hit by enemy fire. U.S. officials say that the pilot was rescued after ejecting over the Persian Gulf. With the war today entering its sixth week, President Trump warning Iran about his approaching April 6th deadline to open up the Strait of Hormuz, posting this: time is running out 48 hours before all hell will rain down on them. President Trump released his 2027 budget blueprint yesterday, which includes boosting defense spending by $1.5 trillion, about 40%. It would cut non-defense spending by $73 billion, or 10%.
How do we not have the money to feed kids or to make healthcare more affordable, yet we have the money to continue this war?
The White House says that the defense spending is needed to meet the current national defense needs, although some Republicans argue that this increase in defense spending could face its own hurdles.
The president's going to have to make a strong case to increase spending by that dollar amount in order for us to move forward.
President Trump is here this holiday weekend, although we do not expect to see him today. Aisha.
Okay, Alex Hogan live for us. Alex, great to see you at the White House. Well, U.S. forces are still searching for that second F-15E crew member who has been missing since the aircraft was shot down over Iran yesterday. And it comes as Iranian officials called on the public to find the airmen and turn them in for a reward. They're looking for him, too. For more, let's bring in House Majority Whip and Minnesota Congressman Tom Emmer. Congressman Whip, thank you very much for joining me on your Easter weekend. I want to get to this developing news here as this urgent search continues for our service member. Do you think at this moment, are you worried that this changes our timeline when it comes to Iran?
No, I don't worry about it. I think our president, as you know, Aisha, he didn't start this war, he's finishing it. And as he told the American public a couple nights ago, they're well on their way to being done. In fact, what they have done is historic. Hit over 11,000 targets. The drone activity is down by 90%. Have effectively destroyed the Iranian infrastructure in just a matter of weeks. And now it's the end of the process. Obviously, our prayers go out to the air crewmen that we are looking for right now. But when the president says this is not going to affect negotiations, I agree.
Okay. I want to move on to this DHS funding fight that you guys are right in the thick of it right now. And it looks like the speaker has lined up with Senate Majority Leader John Thune. Are you guys going to try to do this something through pro forma this week? Is that on the table?
No, not as far as I know, unless something changes. Frankly, what has happened here is the Senate, it was a bad look. You don't pass something at 3 in the morning with only 6 people on the floor and literally defund everything, fund everything but the Immigration and Customs Enforcement and Border and Patrol. It just doesn't work that way. It's a bad precedent for the House. The House, frankly, with our Speaker, has negotiated that the Senate will move this as quick as they can when they get back to town after the Easter recess. And the White House has assured us that the relevant agencies have the money they need to do the job that they're required to do over this period of time. So no, I do not expect something to happen in the coming week, except for discussions on how quickly this moves and what it looks like when we get back after the Easter holiday.
But don't you want to get these people paid? I mean, there will still be people that are not getting paid. Don't you feel like that it's important to get this done as quickly as possible instead of waiting for this break to be over?
Aisha, the House has done this. We've passed complete funding 4 times. By the way, a bill that was agreed to on a bicameral, bipartisan basis, Republicans and Democrats. It's just because of extreme anarchist, Marxist, socialist base that Chuck Schumer has to deal with that he reneged on the deal. Yes, Republicans have been trying to do this since the beginning of the year. The problem we've got is the precedent that has been set is not going to be good going forward. And that precedent is, if you're going to be able to pull out whatever piece you don't like in an appropriations bill, where does this end, Aisha? You know, the next time we have an agricultural appropriations bill, somebody's going to want to pull out something they don't like from that. So it's a big deal in the House. We've been trying to get this done. God bless our president for making sure that our TSA agents are paid. I'm told by Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen that he's got the money that he needs to make sure these people are getting paid until we get back. And then it's really important that we get this thing done once and for all before the end of April.
So I know there's quite a contingent of Republicans that want to see this paired up with reconciliation. They want enough progress made on reconciliation in getting this money funded into ICE before they vote on this particular bill to fund DHS. But we know that reconciliation can take a long time, Whip. You know that. Last year, it was, I believe it officially started in February, didn't wrap up until July. So make the case to federal workers out there who are already frustrated that this is going on and has lasted this long. It started, I think, on Valentine's Day. How can you promise them that reconciliation will be wrapped up quickly?
Well, this is the commitment that the Speaker got from the Senate. Because you're right, and the delay typically comes on the Senate side. They have to take a lot longer than the House does, even though we have a process in the House. There are 2 schools of thought right now, Aisha. The first one is that Lindsey Graham over on the Senate side waives the hearing process, moves a budget resolution immediately. He can get that done very quickly, and then the Senate would originate a skinny reconciliation bill that would only fund CBP and ICE. On the House side, there's also another school of thought where you would move the entire Homeland Security funding bill that's already drafted. I mean, that's one of the reasons it takes a while. This stuff is already drafted. As I said to you earlier, we've already passed it at least 4 times. There's a school of thought in the House that you could do the entire Homeland Security bill through a reconciliation process that would originate in the House. That's the discussion that I expect to be fleshed out over the next 5-6 days, and then we have to get this done immediately in April, which is what the commitment, again, is the Speaker got from the Senate.
But in the meantime, okay, April, in the meantime, aren't you guys just raiding the big, beautiful bill by forcing the president to take these executive actions to pay these federal workers?
Well, Republicans are doing what is necessary to make sure that the American public comes first, the safety and security of Americans here at home. Republicans have been doing this from the get-go. It is the Democrats that are trying to stop this for some ridiculous reason. It's about politics for Democrats. It's not about Americans. So Republicans will continue to make sure that these things are funded so that we can do the job of securing the homeland and protecting Americans first and foremost, their security at home. Regardless of where that money comes from, it has to be done, and Republicans will make sure that it gets done. And ultimately, we've got to make sure these agencies are funded for the long term, because if we allow this to continue, these radical Democrats are literally going to undermine this process every single time. This is not just about today, Aisha. This is about the future.
Well, if you allow it to continue, you may not have the House in November, Whip Emmer. That's, I'm sure, on your mind as well. So we would look forward to seeing what happens in the House and the Senate as you guys work to fund DHS. Whip Emmer, thank you so much for joining me. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter to you, Aisha.
Thank you.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.